What's up everyone, my name's Kamal, welcome to another Borderlands 3 video. So today what I wanted to do is I wanted to highlight my Zane build that I have going. It is a 3 skill tree build, if you will. There's investments in all 3 skill trees. I think it's really cool. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I've been seeing a lot of people claiming that Zane is not very good and his damage isn't very high, and I think the reason for that is it's kind of true. His damage isn't super great, but what he lacks in damage, he makes up for in overall crowd control. So I just kind of wanted to highlight the build that I've been able to come up with. Now, a lot of the guns that I'll be using in this build are very basic guns that I've picked up randomly while running around farming, so keep that in mind. If you have better legendaries that do more damage, it will obviously be a better working build. There are a couple things that are required to make this build function correctly, and I guess we'll start by going over those. So the first thing that you're going to want to make sure that you have just to make this build, I don't know, I would say a bit better, is this Rough Rider shield. What it does is it brings your shield capacity down to 0, but it gives you reduced damage that you take, as well as additional life. And then mine, the one that I picked up, it's an anointed one with my operative skill tree, or operative Vault Hunter. So when I have my Digiclone out, I have a constant 3% life regen, which is great because I don't have any shield. With that, I would suggest also a cryo efficiency, cryo damage grenade, something that does a lot of big area damage. You know, it's going to cover quite a bit and it's going to do a lot of damage. For the guns, just cold damage guns work best, or any guns that you can get good crits with. As far as the class mod, whatever you find that works best. I haven't really found one that works super good with this. This is a random one that I found after I accidentally sold my legendary one. We're not going to talk about that. It was a Techspert one, which I actually kind of like. 5% chance to reset the cooldown or to reset the duration on your Sentinel, which is pretty good. And then this right here, I found this artifact. It does area of effect damage and cryo damage, and also increases damage against frozen targets. If you can find one of these that increases damage against frozen targets, it's going to help you in this build a lot. That's basically the main thing that you're looking for. So like I said, just some random cryo damage guns that I've picked up. And then this one, just because it's a pretty good shotgun, it's fun. I just got this one from the last run, so we're not going to worry about that though. As far as the talent trees go, so like I said, we're going to have some investment in all 3 skill trees, and the tree that we're going to invest the most into is going to be the skill tree that we use the least, or we don't use the action skill from. But it's a pretty good tree. A lot of people are saying ignore this tree, and I think a lot of people don't really fully understand how this Vault Hunter can work. But let's go over it. So first thing, you want 5 out of 5 here for action skill cooldown rate. It's not super beneficial on this build, but when it is needed, it is nice to have, and it is a lot more beneficial than these two because we have no shield. If we have no shield, then these two skills right here, or talents right here, are rendered completely useless. The next thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put 5 out of 5 at a brain freeze, so whenever Zane scores a critical hit on an enemy, there's a chance they will be slowed and the target is frozen. That's really good. This one, Zane's max health is regenerating at all times. So you regenerate 5% of your max health per second when you have no shield. I have no shield, so I'm constantly regenerating 5% life right here. That's amazing. This one you need to skip. You have no shields, so it doesn't matter. You're going to want to put 4 out of 5 here. I have 2 from the class mod. 4 out of 5 is fine. If you do 5 out of 5, you can. All it does is increase the damage, but the damage is really kind of negligible. All you want to do is the Cryo Nova whenever you kill an enemy, because it gives you more of a chance to freeze them, which is what this build's all about. So this one is Zane's resistance. Zane gains resistance to non-elemental damage, and then a kill skill is after killing an enemy, all elemental damage I take is now converted to non-elemental damage. So I take less damage from non-elemental sources, and all the damage I take is non-elemental damage after I get a kill. That's pretty good. This right here is the main reason why we're going so deep in this tree. Whenever Zane freezes an enemy, his shield instantly begins recharging. We don't have a shield, so that doesn't happen. If his shields are full, he regenerates health for a few seconds. I'm almost always at full health because of the amount of regen that you have, so that is almost negligible as well. This is the one that really matters, though. If his health is already full, his action skill and cooldown, or action skill cooldown and durations are immediately reset. So this is what you're going for in this tree. Every time you freeze an enemy, your action skills are reset as long as you're at full life. That's awesome. Super awesome. So one of the action skills you're going to be using is going to be the Sentinel. And the reason for that is right here, the Sentinel does 20% less damage, but that damage is cryo damage. Extremely good. More cold damage going out, more CC happening. The more damage that or the more crowd control that you have, the more that you're freezing the enemy, the more damage you're going to be doing. Remember, extra damage to frozen enemies. You want to freeze them, reset your cooldowns, keep your stuff up. Good stuff, good stuff. This right here, the Sentinel occasionally shoots out a beam of radiation that weakens the enemy and buffs Zane. So what it does is each enemy that is hit by this, I get 2% increased fire rate and 6% increased movement speed, and then the enemies, they take damage. So that's they take damage and they move slower and they attack slower. So that's pretty cool. That's what you want on the Sentinel. We're going to go 4 out of 5 here, so you have 20% increased movement speed for 15 seconds after you get a kill skill. Right here, this is going to be at 20% increased damage at default walk speed. If you've got a kill skill and you're walking faster, you should be doing more damage. This is a very good thing to have. This right here, because you want your Sentinel to be dropping out that bomb, or your grenade. This is another reason why you want the grenade to be a cryo grenade that does a lot of AoE. A big area of coverage, because more cold damage. And then right here, so the kill skills gain increased effect and duration. Extremely beneficial on this build. We're using quite a bit of kill skills, so the duration as well as the bonus is going to be super beneficial on this build. The final skill tree we'll look at is going to be the Digiclone. This is the other skill that you'll be using. You want this so whenever you swap places with him, he does a Cryonova, and you want this augment so that whenever you swap places with him, they focus more on Zane. Now, Zane does have a certain amount of life, or the Digiclone rather, he does have life and armor, or life and a shield. So when you cast him and you have this one active, it is likely that he's going to die pretty quickly, but with this build set up the way that I have it, you can recast him as soon as he dies and then get him right back into the fray. So in this skill tree, what you're going to want is you're going to want 5 out of 5 on Synchronicity. That's for whenever one or more of Zane's action skills are active, he gains increased gun damage. So at 20% per action skill, that's 40% increased damage total just for having the 2 skills active. Extremely good. Extremely good. 4 out of 5 here for whenever Zane or his Digiclone receive a kill, they get increased gun damage and health regeneration. Even more health regeneration, even more damage. So we're getting a lot of plus damage out of this build. Fractal Frags, what this does is it causes the Digiclone to throw out grenades, which is amazing. This one right here, there's a lot of people that say don't use this build, don't listen to them, they don't know what they're talking about. The 20% chance for the first bullet out of your gun every 8 seconds to launch a grenade is extremely good. Even if you have 0 grenades in your arsenal, in your backup, in your ammo pack, if you want to call it, whatever you want to call it, if you have 0 out of 8, 0 out of 9, whatever, you're still going to do this. Zane will still do this. The Sentinel will still do this. It is insane. You want this on there. And then the last one is going to be Old You. This is for if you do go down in a fight, it does happen, you can use the Digiclone. Come back at full life. That's great. Good stuff. Good stuff. So that's the build. I'm going to go ahead and just run some Chupacabra missions. I'll turn the game volume up and mute my microphone. If you guys enjoy this video, please consider liking, subscribing, all that fun stuff. Let's see if we can get some loots. I think this is actually on, is it on 1 or 2? It's on Mayhem 2. So I don't know. Let's see what we can get, shall we?
Man about town! Can anyone teach you how to fight? Can't be how we saw this going. Come on, come on! Find a target, you zoomer! Hang on! Reload! You see that? This'll be just for the crack. Run! Be distracted, will you? Fire at will, little bud! Oh, you got
Alright guys, well there you have it, there's the video. There's me killing the Chupacabra boss on Mayhem 2 with all the different guns that I typically carry around in my arsenal, even the blue pistol that's just a really, really garbage blue pistol that does cryo damage. So yeah, it's a pretty fun, pretty interesting, pretty functioning build. I really like the way that Zane plays. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much else to say about the build other than I don't like the negative press that Zane's getting because I think a lot of people just don't understand the true functionality that he does have in the end game, which is he's essentially a frost mage. He's going to be doing a lot of cold damage, crowd controlling a lot of enemies. The damage output might not be as substantially high as some of the other builds or some of the other classes, but he is going to be able to lock down the enemies and keep them controlled a lot better than the other classes, at least in my opinion. But if you guys liked it, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you want to show any type of monetary support. The links are down in the description below, as well as the link to our Discord server. I did set up a channel for Borderlands, so please feel free, if you're coming to the channel for the first time for Borderlands content, to come and check out the Discord. We have a pretty active community, mostly around Path of Exile, but we are building into a whole plethora of different games. So there it is. I hope you guys liked it. For probably the sixth time that I've said it, I'm really tired. I'm about to go to bed and try to farm some more tomorrow. Anyways, guys, I'm out.